So we have this solar eclipse in Taurus. So solar eclipse because it's the sun, and the sun isn't currently in Taurus. Now the lunar eclipse, which is on the 15th, 16th, it will be in Scorpio, and that is when the moon will be in Scorpio. So the moon's currently with the sun in Taurus at the end of the week on the 30th during this solar eclipse at 10 degrees. So we have this solar eclipse happening here, and the reason that it's not just a new moon, but it's a solar eclipse is because it's in the same sign that the North Node is currently traveling in. The North Node is currently here at 22 degrees, so it's a partial solar eclipse because it's not exact. If it was falling on the 22 degrees, then it would be a full eclipse. So therefore it's a partial one. So the ruler of this eclipse of the North Node is Venus. So we also need to look at where Venus is in this chart. And Venus is down here in Pisces at 27 degrees. At 27 degrees with Jupiter exact and with Neptune. So this is really powerful energy. This is creating a sextile here, 60 degrees with these planets as well, with the North Node, not with the exact eclipse, but with the North Node creating a sextile. Now the other thing we have to look at too, so we're looking at Pisces energy, we're looking at Taurus, we also have to look at anything else that is affecting this. So we're going to be looking at anything that's sitting at 10 degrees and anything that is with the North Node at 22 degrees, sorry. So we currently have Saturn at 24 degrees in Aquarius. So Saturn at 24 with Taurus is 90 degrees. So that's creating a square. So we have a square here. That North Node, not at 24 degrees. So not with the exact new moon energy, but with that North Node, which is this eclipse energy we're talking about. So, what else do we have going on? We also have Mars is currently in Pisces as well, and Mars is at 11 degrees. So that is creating a sextile as well there. So a lot going on, and Mars is the ruler of the South Node as well in Scorpio. So we have a lot of intense energies tying up in together, and a lot of these energies have been playing out the last few months anyway in general, creating a lot of tension and change and a lot of stuff to come to the surface within our lives. And okay, so let's get into, before I ramble too much, the eclipse. So what is a eclipse? So usually we have, not usually, but sometimes we have a lunar eclipse first, and the lunar eclipse is more of a releasing, a letting go. It's the full moon, so it's releasing, it's a letting go, and then we come up to the, not always, but a lot of the time, then we come up to the solar eclipse, which is more of a manifestation energy, of pushing us forward into our soul purpose, because the sun. And so there's that releasing, letting go, and then there's the bringing something into our life. So we've cleared and made space for something to leave, and then we're allowing something to come into our lives. So we're, in this case, it's the opposite. So something's coming into our life, something's showing up, opening up, we're seeing something, and we haven't quite let go, moved on, released from whatever it is, the opposite polarity of that we need to, so that we can let that fully into our lives. So that will be The releasing and letting go will be the lunar eclipse on the 15th, 16th in Scorpio, and the opening of the doors and seeing what the potential is and what's coming into our life, or the changes that need to be made, or whatever is happening first. So it's a bit tricky in that sense. It makes it more intense for us to deal with as well. So all right, I lost my track of thought there. So that also something else I was going to say that. Okay, it'll come back to me if it's important. So the North Node is, and this is where this solar eclipse is happening, is our destiny. It's what we're moving towards, what we're wanting to, what we're fated events that can come to us. So what I was going to say before is that eclipses too is the lead up to eclipses, the energy is where if we haven't made certain changes in our life, or let go of things, or release things, or gone forward towards things that we are destined for, or fated for us, or whatever else, then the eclipses force these things to happen. So yeah, where we haven't taken action ourselves, we get forced by outside influences. It can be people, it can be situations, or it can be stuff that comes up from ourselves, from the outside, and causes those situations and things. Whatever it is, basically, things happen. It's fated. So that's the whole thing with eclipses. They're fated. It's destined. Anything that happens with eclipses is destined, it's fated, it's meant to be, and it's to transform us to move forward. So the North Node's where we're heading towards. It's our future, it's our destiny, it's what we're materializing in this lifetime, what we're manifesting, and what we're learning and moving towards, basically. So so eclipses bring breakdowns, which whenever we have breakdowns, we have breakthroughs. It's internal pressure, it's boiling points, eclipses, it's transformation, it's change, it's triggering us, basically, so that we make the change or whatever. So like I said, it's happening a little bit opposite-ish because of the something coming in first and then the releasing, letting go second, which is interesting. Okay, so so if we look at the South Node, so the opposite of the South Node is what we're releasing, what we're letting go of, what's no longer serving us, any old stories or beliefs or anything that's like holding us back. It can be people, situations, it can be trauma, because it's like we're talking about North Node and South Node in Taurus and Scorpio. So the Scorpio side is any trauma, any old anything that's to do with like sexual trauma or sex, or anything that's taboo or not seen with as being accepted in society, things like that. Releasing, letting go of that. It's also of psychological matters and any kind of psychological trauma, releasing and letting go of any of that sort of stuff. Other people's resources, money, the need for that, the need for a lot of debt, and to have a lot of taxes to pay, and insurances and stuff like this, all these bills and things like that, and releasing and letting go the need of all that. And what other Scorpio things? So yeah, the need for other people's resources and money, and occult, sex, power, any kind of power struggles. This Scorpio can be power struggles as well. Any of those sorts of things. And then that North Node where we're moving towards is the Taurus themes, which is money and finances and agriculture and food and value and possessions, and and it's part of this is like we're moving towards, so being able to be stable for ourselves and have our own financial security and stability, and not need to rely on others and other people's resources, and that having our own resources and our own ability to support ourselves. So like growing our own food, for example, or having our, using our skills and abilities to earn money and support ourselves and stuff like that. It's also a big part of self-worth too, having, so letting go of that psychological trauma and all that from the Scorpio stuff, and then moving towards having more self-worth and confidence and a better, not having that psychological trauma holding us back, the bad self-worth and all that stuff, and moving, and toxic stuff, and moving towards more positive body confidence and self-worth and love, and towards love and beauty, and seeing the beauty in everything and things that may not be, the typical kind of beauty or whatever. And that's what, Venus, the ruler, is all about. It's like what makes us feel good, what we see the beauty in, what we're, what our love language is too, what we value. So that's that North Node and South Node's access. So what we're moving towards and all that. So we're moving towards having, different ways of earning money and finances, and handling our money and finances and income and currencies and stuff like that, and different ways of, interacting and using finances and income and all that. And also resources, more natural resources, because it's Taurus too. Taurus is all about the earth and natural stuff and agriculture and all that. So it's like new ways of farming, new ways of, so we can find these things in our own lives too if we break it down a little bit, so like, being able to grow our own food and support ourselves and be more creative and and thrifty and be more not hoarding either, even though Taurus can be a bit of a hoarding sign, but it's like being more minimal in a sense, in a way. So it's like we're valuing different things. We're not valuing like what we're going to value more things like having skills and abilities and being able to do things, and value things like having resources and good food and being able to care for ourselves and look after ourselves and things like that. So that's pretty much the energy of eclipses. So generally a new moons are all about new beginnings, new opportunities, a refresh, a restart, a new opportunity or something like that coming in. And it's in, as I said, Taurus theme, so we spoke about all that, so like the money and the self-worth and confidence, and it's a very much a Taurus is the master builder energy, so it's very much about building and manifesting and creating and all of these things as well. Hello, May, how are you? Beautiful shining soul. So that is most of that energy. So then we look at the ruler, which is Venus. And Venus is with Neptune, and the Venus-Neptune conjunction will happen first, and that is really powerful because that's like they meet often, but only every 12 years only every 12 years together in Pisces. So I don't think that's right, hang on. They meet every 12 years, but this one is significant because it's in Pisces, in the exalted ruler sign. That's better. So Venus is exalted in Pisces. So exalted is, so the signs have the planets have their favorite signs that they're in, and then they have their exalted sign where it's like even more excited to be in that sign, where it's most pleasant, most pleasurable. For Venus, most pleasurable. So in Pisces, she's exalted, she's like the happiest. She's the most dreamy. She's so Venusian. She wants to create and have romance and drama and love and passion and yeah, creativity and abundance and love and wealth and all these things, especially there with Jupiter conjuncting. So it's like expanding all of this too. So creating some really nice, beautiful energy for real gifts to come through, for luck, for in love, in relationships with people, with opportunities, with finances, with money, with our possessions, with our values, all of these things. So can be showing up for us during this time if we've done the work, is what it always comes back to. If we've, made room for things to come in, and if not, then the universe will push things out. They do say what's meant for us will be ours, but we can miss things too if we're too stubborn. And that's part of this Taurus energy too. Can be too stubborn and stuck and doesn't want change to happen. Uranus is in there trying to push Taurus to make change, that Taurus energy, and make us change and stir things up and shake things up there, especially our finance system and our agriculture and our money, all of those things that just Uranus is doing there. But yeah, Taurus can be quite stubborn and, just want to not change and stay stuck and just have that security and not take a risk, maybe, You're doing well. I read Taurus and needed to show up. Oh, I read Taurus and needed to show up. Yeah. What do you have in Taurus? Is it your sun or your rising? So directly squaring the nodes too. So Saturn is squaring the nodes. So Saturn does play into this too. So Saturn, so if we talk about Saturn and the nodes, so Saturn with the square, so it's about our future because it's the nodes as well, and Saturn's all about us, growing up, showing up, taking responsibility, doing the right things in our integrity, and so this is, where we can see or the energy come up where we've been doubting ourselves, feeling unsure, where we've, had rose-tinted glasses and not seeing things clearly. We've deceived ourselves, we're holding ourselves back, where we're limiting ourselves. And it's all this Venus energy here too, with Neptune and Venus and Jupiter and all that together too, is where we can like over idolize and see things with rose tinted glasses and like get lost in the fantasy and all that. But at the same time, that's where like creation and all these amazing things can manifest and come from if we have dreams and if we believe and we let go and we do the Pisces energies, which is releasing, letting go, going with the flow, having those dreams and like trusting in the universe and in the divine plan, and not like being stuck and stubborn and holding ourselves back and feeling triggered and stuck as well. So Saturn in Aquarius is all about freedom, but Saturn's not necessarily about freedom, but when it's in Aquarius, it's about our own rules, setting our own rules based on these new value systems that we've made or we've seen, or what we're starting to, see we value, what we are starting to value or see we have value in. So yeah, setting our own rules and standards and our own boundaries. So this is a big part of releasing, old boundaries that we've had and limitations and restrictions we've set up that are set up based on old situations and old people. So we need to let go of old boundaries, old restrictions. We need to show up, take responsibility, but only for the things we value and not what we need to let go of. So we need to stop being stubborn, holding on to the past, dwelling on our wounds, not feeling good enough, and not feeling like we have enough self-worth, or not having enough self-worth. So this energy too is going to play out for the next 6 months, because the moon cycle always does, and the eclipses are very powerful. So with all this, they will bring change. So we will see change that will happen in our lives, depending what area of your life it's happening, for the next 6 months. Yeah, stop being stubborn. Exactly. That's me too. I'm Taurus sun. I'm very stubborn. So yeah, new energy, new opportunities when we release the old karma, the old patterns, and we move forward towards our destiny. So what else do I need to talk about? I haven't really written notes. I just have some old notes about eclipses so I could just keep on track with eclipse energy. So Venus, so yes, this is also, so the last time we had the nodes, so the nodes of destiny and fate, this fated energy in Taurus and Scorpio was back in 2003, and now we're in opposite signs. So it was North Node in Scorpio, South Node in Taurus. So if you can remember back in 2003 what was happening in your life, for me, I always have to look to what I was doing with work to know where I was in my life. And maybe that's because I'm a workaholic, a Virgo rising, but yeah, so you know, if it's by relationships, whatever it is, but yeah, so you know, this is big fated energy. So what was happening in 2003, what were you releasing and letting go of, what was showing up for you? So the opposite now is happening. It's flipped, it's finishing, you know, not finishing, but it's another part of that cycle, that 18-year cycle of the nodes, or nine, it's the next 9 years. So 9 years ago, 18 years ago, sorry, it is completing an 18-year cycle. You can also look back to 9 years ago, which would be 2013, I think it is, or is it 2014? So we've got 2013. Yeah, so look back to 2013. So 9 years ago, 18 years ago, you know, in your life, what was happening, and these cycles repeat, things, energy patterns repeat. So have a look back to those, and that can give you an idea of, you know, what could be happening again, or opportunities or changes that will happen again in your life. So okay, I think that is mostly it. So we'll just go through each sign, focusing on the Aquarius, Pisces, and Taurus energy. I'll quickly go through each sign as fast as I can, and then I'll do some personal readings. Look at anyone's chart that is around and where all this energy is personally hitting for you, and it's hitting on any personal planets and what it might mean for you. All right, so I need to keep this chart up so I can have the transits and know what's going on. I need to open up another thing for charts, and we'll go through each sign. So it'll be Aries. Oh, I know I can change it over, so I can close this one and open up this one. All right. So we need templates. Aries rising first. It's too big. I'm gonna have to resize for every single one of these. Surely not. How did I do this last time? Okay, so we want purple, but that's not on the chart. And change my paint options. Okay. Oops. Make that a bit bigger. Okay. Sorry, I'm sorry, but my Virgo rising can't handle it being off. So can I go back on this chart? Yeah, let me get rid of all these scribbles. So we're looking at this energy, and Saturn, Aquarius, Pisces, and Taurus. Now, you can see the chart fine. All right, so we're going to go through each sign. Now let me just check. All still good. Yep. Looks okay. All right. Okay, so all right, so let's go through each sign. All right, so for Aries or Aries rising people, so you can listen for your sun. It's best to listen for your rising. All right, so we are talking about the solar eclipse energy, which is going to be in Taurus in the second house. We're talking about the square with Saturn here in Aquarius, and we're talking about the Pisces energy here, which is the sextile with Venus and Neptune. So where you are moving towards, where fated, destined things can be coming into your life, where you can be seeing changes happening, forced if you haven't made any changes yourself, for you is in the second house. Now the second house is our finances, it's our money, it's our resources, it's the income we earn from the work we do, it's our gifts and abilities, our talents, or not so much our talents, but our skills and abilities, our financial security and our security, our self-worth and our confidence. So any kinds of big changes happening there. So destined, new, fated energy, opportunities, changes coming in. So where the sextile is, so where you can have some, where Venus, the ruler of this is, so where Venus is bringing you gifts, bringing you some ease, some helpful energy, people, some pleasure, is the 12th house. So that can be from something that's hidden behind the scenes. It can be something to do with healing. It can be something to do with religion or God, the universe, your higher self, your connection with, you know, your intuition, yourself. It can be any kind of healing, hospitals, institutions, any of that sort of stuff. It can be where we go to escape as well. So, you know, you could be running off on a fantasy escape holiday somewhere with someone or something like that, or some kind of dreams or dreamy energy or something like that. It's the 12th house is where we get to escape reality, basically. It can also be where, you know, and with Jupiter there too, you know, over indulge in things. So drugs, alcohol, anything that dulls the senses, any of that sort of stuff as well. But it's pleasurable, nice energy. So we can always overdo it in those areas, and we can, you know, be, you know, unrealistic and overdo things and then self-sabotage ourselves and those other themes. But depending if we've done the work and all those other things as well, and those Taurus themes of self-worth and confidence, and how you're feeling about your money and finances and your skills and abilities and all, that's going to play a big part of it as well. So where the square is coming from, the tension, where the part of the releasing and letting go, where you need to stop restricting yourself and show up, take responsibility, all of that is around friends, friendship groups, friendship circles. So and your social groups, your aspirations, your goals. So it's showing up, getting serious about those things, and also letting go of any boundaries or restrictions that you have around those things, from letting them work for you, basically. So that's the energy for Aries people. So again, the new beginnings, new opportunities, the refresh, restart because of new moon energy, the faded energy, the the eclipse energy that's going to bring things into your life is that finances, money, possessions, self-worth, confidence, security, around all those themes. All right, so let's go on to Taurus rising. If I go down to T, I'm looking right next to Aries. Okay. So we do have to keep resizing this. That's okay. All right, so for Taurus rising people. So Taurus there on the ascendant. So the new moon energy, the eclipse energy, where the faded energy is for you, where new beginnings, new opportunities, where faded things can come in, where the change can happen for you, is around the first house. So this is all about you and who you are, what you're about, the way you present yourself, the way you dress, your appearance, your body. All of these things can be going through new beginnings, new changes, new opportunities, faded things happening to you, your brand, what you're about, what you're putting out there, all of those things. So where the sextile's coming from, where the pleasurable energy is assisting that, bringing helpful people, bringing ease, bringing pleasure, bringing nice Venusian things and gifts and opportunities, is from the 11th house of friends, friendship groups, friendship circles, your higher aspirations, your dreams, what you're doing for a bigger, higher purpose, your communities, any groups you're a part of, any of those sorts of things, the 11th house. So and where the square, the tension, where the boundaries need to come down a bit, the restrictions need to go, where you need to show up, take responsibility more, get more serious. All of those things is around work, career, your legacy, your reputation, what you're building, what you're wanting to go out and do in the world and create and build, to leave behind legacy, or to just make your mark in the world, or do just outside the world what you owe to the collective, to the world, basically what you're here to do. So your career, so anything there basically where you need to show up, take responsibility, grow up, all of those sorts of things. And when you do that, that will help bring in the change that's needed to manifest your dreams, and change the changes that need to happen around you, yourself, and the way you come across and present yourself, and who you are, and your body and your image and your branding and all of that stuff. So I hope that's helpful for you, Taurus rising. So let's go to Gemini rising. Gemini rising. Okay, so for Gemini rising, here's my purple gone. Okay, so Gemini on the ascendant. So the Taurus energy, where the new opportunities are, the new beginnings. Oh my, I hope that was a good reading for you. Oh, I didn't even think about it when I was doing it, but yeah, I hope it was a good reading for you. So the new opportunities, the new beginnings, the refresh, restart, the eclipse energy of faded things coming into your life, faded things, can't even think right now. Eclipses are faded, they're destined, they bring change, they bring great manifestations. So any of that energy is around the 12th house, which is our higher self, our connection with God, the universe, our intuition, our mental state. It's our where we go to heal and retreat It's where we go to escape. It's also where we can self-sabotage. It's where we go to like hospitals and institutions and all that to heal, basically, and escape and retreat and all that. And yeah, so those sorts of things. So any kind of new beginnings there. So it could be like new opportunities, like destined things, fated things, with any of those sorts of things, with healing, with you know, your mind and mental state, and your connection with God, the universe, your spirituality, your healing, and with what's hidden as well, and behind the scenes, and all of that sort of stuff too. So the sextile, where the pleasurable energy comes, where the helpful people that can help with this energy, where the gifts can come through, where the ease is the pleasure, the ease, the good, you know, expansion, the growth, the dreaminess, the romance, the love, the passion, whatever it is, that is in the 10th house of work, career, what you're doing out in the world, your reputation, your legacy, what you're creating, what you're building in the world, basically. So some kind of, you know, opportunities or helpful people within that sort of energy, or pleasurable energy, or gifts that come through with any of that stuff. Where the tension is, where the needing to have let go of old boundaries and restrictions, where you need to show up, take responsibility, do the work, and show up, all that stuff, is around the 9th house. So it's around your beliefs, around your ethics. It can be around your religion and spirituality, your philosophy. It can be around things that are at a far distance, that are from another culture, that are overseas. It can be long distance travel. It can be to do with yes, it could be like you know, it could be to do with like universities and studies and things that are you're learning on a long-term basis, higher education. So, you know, where you've been so stuck that I have to have all these degrees and do all this before I can go and follow my dreams and have all these my dreams, 12th house and 10th house career, and have all these amazing things I want. I can't do it until I've got all these degrees and I've done all these courses, or I've done all this and had all this growth and done this and done that. Like, that's a part of the journey. And stop self-sabotaging yourself so that you can have all that, basically. So yeah, that's, yeah, well, that's a lot there, Gemini rising. I hope that all makes sense for you. So focus on the pleasurable things from 10th house, from work, career, from your legacy, what you're creating, what you're building. Focus on the gifts and the good energy that can come from there, the helpful people, the ease, the pleasure, and, you know, where the new beginnings, new opportunities, refresh, all that can come from is that your connection with God, the universe, your higher self. So really about tuning into yourself, taking it easy, being gentle with yourself, having a new way to care for your mental state, your spiritual state. And it can be through yoga, meditation. It can be through, you know, prayer. It could be through breath work. It can be through healing, through retreat, from having time out and taking time alone, and looking after yourself, and having good spiritual practices, basically yoga, meditation, anything like that as well. So new, you know, opportunities for that sort of stuff can be coming in too. Okay, so you're a Leo rising. Okay, Taurus sun, is that right? So we are at Cancer rising, so almost at Leo rising. Almost there, my. Okay, so okay, so for Cancer rising people, the Taurus new moon, new opportunities, new beginnings, the eclipse energy where it's fated, destined things, change coming into our life is the 11th house of friends, friendship groups, friendship circles, our communities, organizations we're a part of, what we're doing for a bigger, higher purpose, our dreams, our higher aspirations. So yeah, any of those sorts of things for you. Now where the help, the pleasurable energy, where you can have some ease and pleasure and nice energy and gifts come through and some kind of opportunities and passion and love and romance or any of those sorts of things is the 9th house. So it can be marriage, so marriage opportunities or something like that possibly, who knows. It could be to do with long distance travel, things that are overseas or foreign, people that are far away at a far distance. It can be higher education and learning, can be about your beliefs and your ethics, and about your philosophy and your spirituality, and anything to do with like teaching and publishing and travel that is long distance basically. So some nice beautiful opportunities and energy and expansion and growth and gifts and stuff coming in there. And then where you're having the having too many restrictions or boundaries, where you're needing to show up, take responsibility, put energy and effort into only the things that are that you value and that are part of the bigger higher purpose, is the 8th house, which is you know, where your psychological state might be holding you back, your old trauma, any kind of sex trauma, power struggles, any kind of issues to do with other people's resources and money and finances, banks, inheritances, insurances, taxes, loans, debts, all that sort of stuff, banks, all of that. So any kind of that sort of stuff where the Saturn is where you know, too restrictive, too many boundaries, need to show up, take responsibility, get more serious, get more practical, and show up for those things so that you can bring in the rest of those energies. And yeah, be able to show up for the things that are valuable and important around, you know, friends and friendship groups and circles, and the destined changes and fated energy that's coming through with those things for you. With the Pisces energy, bringing it in, assisting with that romance and love and passion, with all that energy there. Okay, so that's it for Cancer rising. So Leo rising, you're next, Leo rising. Okay, so Leo rising. Okay, so for Leo rising, this is happening for you in the new moon and the eclipse. So new opportunities, the new beginnings, refresh, restart, the fated events, the destined things, the change coming into your life is around your career, your work, your reputation, your what you're doing out in the world, your legacy, what you're building around those things, where you can have some help, some nice pleasurable energy, where you can have ease and passion and love and gifts and opportunities to come in, is around the 8th house. So that can be around sex and power, and it can be around death and rebirth and transformation and healing. It can be around other people's resources and money, so partners' resources and money. It can be or business partners' resources and money. It can be banks, inheritances, taxes, insurances, debts, loans, investments. 8th house is investments as well, so anything there coming through for you. And then where the 10th energy, where you need to let the boundaries down, not be so restrictive, show up more, take more responsibility, grow up, and put in the work and energy and effort is around relationships, around business partnerships, contracts, any of those things, and relating with others, relationships and relating with others in general. And yeah, that is going to help you with bringing in those fated new beginnings, new opportunities around the 10th house of what you're building, you know, your legacy, what you want to leave behind, all of that stuff. And that pleasurable energy from whether it's lots of sex in the 8th house, you stepping more into your power, you getting some luck from investments, having more romance and passion that is more deep and connected and like on a soul purpose, and healing of any trauma and any of those sorts of things as well. So that's it for Leo rising. I hope that was helpful for you. So next is Virgo rising. Virgo rising. So halfway there after Virgo. So Virgo rising, so this is happening for you in the 9th house. So new moon, new opportunities, new beginnings, refresh, restart, new beginnings. The eclipse is fated, destined, events, people, changes, things coming into our life, around your education, your higher education, so study, learning. It can be around teaching, it can be around philosophy, it can be around religion, spirituality, it can be around marriage, it could be things that are foreign, overseas, long distance travel, other cultures, people that are far away, that sort of thing. So yeah, new beginnings, new opportunities, new energy, blessings are coming to my mind, coming in around your beliefs too, your ethics, and fated events and situations and people and energy coming in. Oh, baby bear's meowing at me. So where the pleasure can come from, where you can have ease, we can have helpful people, where you can have romance and passion and love and gifts, and really great energy coming from is the 7th house of relationships, relating with the other, business contracts, business partnerships, and yeah, all around relationships and relating with the other, basically all of those things. So you could have some really nice pleasurable energy with your relationship, or you could find a new relationship, or someone could come into your life. Where the tension is coming from, where the restrictions are too much, where you've had too many boundaries, where you need to show up more, take responsibility, grow up, where you need to get serious, is around the 6th house. So that is around your work, what you're doing on a daily basis, around your health, your fitness, your daily routines, anything around with co-workers as well. Yeah, your health, well-being, fitness, your work, your career. That's pretty much it. 6th house. 6th house is also our pets and animals. Yeah, so any of those things. So showing up more, doing all that can help with, you know, helping to ease and bring in more of this nice energy with Pisces, but also this manifesting energy for the 9th house of marriage, things that are far distance, overseas, philosophy, higher education, beliefs, learning, teaching, all of that sort of stuff. So yes, that's it for Virgo rising, fated energy around that 9th house. I hope that was helpful for you. All right, so let's go to Libra rising. So now we are halfway through. Okay, Libra rising. So for Libra rising, so this is the Taurus, the eclipse energy, so fated events, fated people, destined events and destined people, where we're heading towards, where the new moon, new opportunities, new beginnings, refresh, restart, anything like that can come through for you, is the 8th house of other people's resources and money, business partners, partnerships, your partner's money and resources. So like your partner could get a raise or a new opportunity for an investment or some kind of finances or resources or something like that, and it affects you. So it could be investments for you personally, your own investments, taxes, inheritances, insurances, anything there that's fated, destined, new opportunities, new beginnings. Also around trauma, healing, sex, death, rebirth, transformation. That's pretty much 8th house things. Yeah, so where the pleasurable energy, the helpful energy, where you can have some ease and some romance and passion and love and gifts and opportunities come through, is the 6th house of your career, your work, your health, your well-being, your fitness, what you're doing on a daily basis, your co-workers, where you need to show up, take more responsibility, get more serious on your values, break free from too many restrictions or boundaries that are old and no longer in alignment with your future, is around love and romance and around play and creativity and children and your hobbies and your passions and what you love. So any of those things where you've been too restrictive, old boundaries that are no longer serving you, that don't meet these, new energies, and showing up and taking more responsibility on things that are valuable and that mean something to you in those areas of life. So that's it for Libra rising. Okay, so for Scorpio rising. So again, so the focus there, Libra, is destined energy, where you're moving towards. What's the focus is that 8th house of healing and your psychological trauma and psychological state and your trauma and sex, death, rebirth, transformation. So stepping into your true power. That's a big thing. Stepping into your true power, and maybe some faded energy for inheritances and investments and taxes, insurances, money, other people's money and resources, or something like that coming through for you. Okay, so for Libra, so for Scorpio rising, open Scorpio rising. All right. So also just a reminder, I'm doing this on the fly. We're just working through it as we look through the charts. I haven't written anything down, so just bear with me and hopefully you get something out of it. And it helps you in some way and gives you some guidance with what areas of life it is happening for you. If you want more detail and specifics, hang around to the end so I can look at your chart. I'll look at a couple of charts quickly and see where the energy is hitting, if it's hitting any specific planets. Otherwise, you can always book a reading with me. Details are below. Book a session, have your birth natal chart read, or just have the transits read. I've got quick readings available or longer ones, and we can look at all this energy for you and what it means for the next 6 months and what this eclipsed and faded energy is bringing for you, where it's pushing you towards. Okay, so for Scorpio rising, Scorpio and Scorpio rising people, so this is going to be happening in the 7th house. So new beginnings, new opportunities, faded energy, destined people, things, events, changes coming into your life, where there's refresh, restart, is 7th house of relationships, relating with other people, how we relate to the outside world, business partners and business contracts, partnerships basically. Where you're going to have more pleasure, some kind of romance, passion, love, some opportunity, some gifts, some just Venusian loving energy coming in, is the 5th house of romance, love, passion, our children, our hobbies, our creativity, our the something I said earlier about second house and I took that back. It's our skills, ability, talents. Fifth house is talents as well. So our talents, and around love and passion and romance, those sorts of things. Fifth house, creativity, our children, what we love, what makes us happy, all of those sorts of things, basically. Okay, so, all right, now, all right, Aquarius. So where we're feeling too restricted, where we've had too many boundaries or old ones we need to, change, that aren't a part of our future and what we're moving forward within our current values and all of that, where we need to show up, take responsibility, do the work, put in the effort, and break free in some way to our own, setting our own new rules and standards, is the fourth house around home and family, our heritage, our ancestry. So you could be healing some kind of like long family trauma or wounds, within this fourth house. It's not so much the healing part, it's like letting go of old boundaries around like old family stuff or whatever, or old family ties or old family rules and restrictions or anything like that, possibly, or around the home, or moving, or changes. Could be restrictions, so like could be or showing up, growing up, taking responsibility. Could be like you buying a new home or something like that, who knows, with fourth house. Changes within your home, possibly, so that you can be more responsible or show up or have a better home, or self-care. And because that fourth house is also where we care and nurture ourselves too, so being more responsible in that area of our life, having a space where we can nurture and care and look after ourselves, and have somewhere that we retreat and can do those, mother ourselves, basically. Fourth house. So so that is around, could be people in the home, it could be our home or our environment. So where the fated energy, so it's within those relationships and those destined relationships and with people. So it could be new relationships and people coming into your life, business partnerships or relationships, or new opportunities or restarts or refresh within current relationships as well. Okay, so for Sagittarius rising, Sagittarius rising. Okay, so for Sagittarius rising, so this is happening in the Taurus eclipse. So the fated energy, the destined changes, people, events coming into our life, the new beginnings, new opportunities, the refresh, restarts, new opportunities, all of that can be around work, what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, can be around your health, your vitality, your well-being, your fitness, can be with co-workers, with any of those things, your daily routine, where you're getting some nice Venusian energy from the Jupiter and the Neptune energy, where it's pleasurable, where it's helpful people, or ease is coming in, some pleasure, some love, passion, romance, gifts, opportunities, is around home, family, your local environment, not local, but your environment around the home, family, where you nurture and care for yourself, around your ancestry, your heritage, any of those sorts of things, of fourth house as well, where you have had too many restrictions or old boundaries you need to let go of, where you need to show up, take responsibility, put in the hard work and effort, is around of setting your own new standards and rules, and all that too is around communication, your thoughts, your thought processes, your siblings, your learning, your any short courses that you take, your communication, your writing, your speaking, your networking, your any of those sorts of things. Our third house, local environment, where we go on a in our local environment, where we go on a short distance. The opposite to the ninth house is long distance travel. So short distance, our neighborhood, our environment, and our neighbors and stuff like that. And yeah, mainly like a lot of it is thoughts and mind and thought processes and communicating and speaking. So getting more serious and showing up more there, letting go of any old restrictions, where, you know, especially if it could be something to do with, because it's square with Taurus, where you you know, don't speak up and communicate and talk about your feelings and thoughts and what you want to communicate because of your self-worth issues or something like that, possibly. So the helpful, pleasurable energy, fourth house, home and family. And then, yeah, where you're focusing, moving towards, where fated, destined stuff, new beginnings, opportunities is career, what you do on a day-to-day basis, and your health and well-being. So that's it for Sagittarius rising. So for Capricorn rising, all right, so let's resize that. Wow, we're almost there. I haven't missed anyone, hopefully. All right, so for Capricorn rising, so this will be in Taurus energy. So the eclipse, the faded energy, the new opportunities, new beginnings, a refresh, restart, the destined people, things, places, opportunities, whatever is coming into our life is around the fifth house of love, romance. It's our children, it's our play, our pleasure, it's our creativity, it's our hobbies, our passions, it's our talents, any of those sorts of things there, where you can be having the new opportunities, new beginnings, faded energy. So where the helpful energy can be coming from, where the pleasure, where the love, passion, romance can be coming from, where you can have gifts and I keep going to say rewards. I feel like rewards is so much more Saturn based, but I mean Saturn is involved. So, but yeah, some, you know, love and passion and new opportunities and gifts and faded stuff and like huge things manifesting, and that coming can be third house, so it can be through social media or through media, through communication, through networking, through speaking, through talking, through siblings, through our neighbors and neighborhood, through our short distance travel, any of those sorts of things, a local environment, where the being too restrictive, need to let go of old boundaries, they're no longer serving us, where you need to show up, take responsibility, put in the effort, grow up, is around finances, money, possessions, self-worth and confidence, your stability, your financial security, any of those sorts of topics, so that you can have good values and worth and standards when it comes to, you know, the love, the passion, the hobbies, the creativity, the children, the pleasurable things, what you love, what lights you up, makes you happy. Okay, so for Pisces, for Aquarius rising. Whoa, we nearly forgot the aliens. Whoops. All right. Oh, whoops, that was wrong. For Aquarius rising. Okay, so for Aquarius rising. So where the Taurus energy is happening for you in the fourth house. So where the new beginnings, new opportunities, refresh, restart, where your fated energy, where destined events, people, situations can come into your life, is around home, family, your ancestors, your heritage, your property, and it's around like your home, where you nurture and care for yourself, where you have that safe space, where you mother yourself. So new beginnings, new opportunities around any of that stuff, around home, family, the people in your home, it could be two, or where you live. And then where the pleasurable energy is coming from, where the love, romance, passion, gifts, rewards, whatever it is, the pleasure and just like really beautiful energy, luck, beauty, whatever it is coming in for you, is around finances and money and self-worth and confidence and stability and security and your skills and abilities and your finances, all that, your natural gifts. So yeah, any of those sorts of things where helpful people, pleasurable energy, ease can be coming in, opportunities, gifts, all that stuff. And then where you need to show up, be more serious, take more responsibility, let go of old boundaries, let go of any old restrictions that are no longer part of your future, they're no longer serving your purpose, no longer align with your current values or new standards you've set, is around you and who you are and what you're about and what you're putting out there and the way you present yourself, your appearance, the way you dress, what you're putting out into the world, basically. So anything there where you need to show up, grow up, take responsibility, release, let go of any old boundaries and restrictions there, so that you can move forward into the better, new opportunities for home and family and destined events around home and family and people and property and where you live and the way you care and nurture for yourself, basically. Hello, Super Steve. How are you? My day is good. Thanks for following. What is your rising or sun sign? Do you know it? Okay, so last sign is Pisces rising. So for Pisces rising, okay, so your day's not good. I'm sorry. I hope that it gets better. And I hope that all this amazing energy that's coming up over the next week with the eclipses helps shift some stuff in your life and make sure days are better. Okay, so we have so for Pisces rising, we have Taurus down here in the third house, so where the new opportunities, new beginnings, the refresh, restart, where the fated energy is coming in, where the destined energy for new opportunities, new people, new things, events, whatever it is coming into your life is around communication and speaking and networking and talking and writing and blogs and that sort of thing, media, social media. It can be around your siblings, can be around your local environment, where you go on a local basis, and it can be with your mind and your thoughts and your thought processes and your thinking and your learning and all of that as well. So where the pleasurable energy is coming in, where the opportunities are, where the love, the passion, the romance, where the gifts can come through, where the helpful people and the ease can be, is around the first house of you, who you are, what you're about, what you're putting out there, the way you present yourself. It can be around your brand. It can be around your body, so anything there. It can be, just basically about you. And where you need to let go of old boundaries and restrictions, where you've been holding yourself back and that aren't in alignment, things that aren't in alignment with your values and your standards now, where you need to show up, take responsibility, grow up, put in the hard work and effort for the things that matter, so that and set the new rules and standards, is around your higher self and your intuition, your connection with God, the universe. It's around hospitals and healing and institutions, and where we go to retreat and heal and escape, and anything around like self-sabotaging behaviors, or that can be things like drugs and alcohol, or any of those sorts of things, where our mental state and our spirituality and all of that as well, so that you can have better, more new opportunities, new beginnings, fated things with communicating with, your mind, your thoughts, with your connections with, and your siblings, your neighbors, your writing, speaking, communicating, all of that basically. Learning your short courses and short distance travel and all that you do basically. Okay, so that's it for all the signs. So that's the eclipse energy. So as I said, eclipses are always fated. They're always a destined energy coming in, shifting things out of our life, eclipsing things out of our life that we haven't moved on or changed, basically. So then we come in 2 weeks time after this on the 30th, and 2 weeks later on the 15th, 16th. My birthday's on the 15th, so great having an eclipse there, but it'll probably be the 16th for me. So and that will be the south node, the lunar, on Scorpio. This eclipse energy, north node, is currently hitting my sun at 23 degrees. So it's definitely pushing me and my soul's towards my soul's purpose. So there you go. So that's it for the energies for coming up with this eclipse. I think that's all I wanted to bring up. Again, if you want more information, if you'd like to book a reading with me, the details are below. On the 15th, yeah, my birthday is on the 15th, and the eclipses are on the 15th. Next eclipses are on the 15th, 16th. So we have eclipses every 6 months, so then the next ones will be in November, which are even more powerful then too. So this Taurus one is quite nice and pleasurable. The Scorpio one's going to be more intense and not so nice. And then November is going to be crazy. Or between now and then will be these eclipses, between all this energy over the next 6 months. So this energy over the next 6 months is like really fated, really powerful. It's getting us in alignment with the right people, the right places and situations, because what's coming is crazy in the world. We need to be like, yeah, in the right places with the right people, because it's crazy what's coming. So if anyone would like me to personally look at your chart now, you can put your date of birth, time